Lone Crescent Bologna. As happy as she looks, she's pretty upset that I took away her plus 30 Sigurd Scythe, but you know what? Hua Young's gotta eat. Tamarin, we're running Tamarin on Magahara's Tome to cycle her. I think having her relatively fast and on Tome is very important to cycle her skills. You need her to be able to take multiple turns. She has to have 200 ER required. If you don't have 200 ER, use artifacts to get her there, right? Take her off Tome and put her on Bastion. Do something to get her ER boosted up enough. And the 105 effectiveness, her S1 does have a strip. The 105 effectiveness just makes her that much better at removing the debuffs. Once you get 105 by 200, pump the rest into speed and a little bit of tankiness. This is a very, very high-end Tamarin. I think you could run this at 1,000 defense and 11k health and be okay. But I would start pulling speed down before I would go lower than that on my health. And we got Pillis. Pillis's primary job is, if you look at her specialty change stuff, one of the things she has is that when there's a counterattack, dual attack, or extra attack, reduces damage by 30%. This is what keeps Tamarin and everyone else alive while the BS is going on, because if you don't have this, it's gonna be tough to stay alive. Plus, you know, she's a knight, so she can wear Aureus, peeling even more damage off of the frontline units. That's the key to making this team full auto. In place of Pillis, you can run Hassel. Hassel's got a similar mechanic in her S2, but Hassel's is only a 25% reduction, whereas Pillis's is 30%. Makes Pillis better for survivability, but it makes Hassel better because she does, you know, start pumping in the damage, right? So Hassel will make it a little bit faster. Pillis will make it a little bit more stable. And we're running Byblis. Byblis is here as my stripper, defense breaker, cleanser, healer, jack of all trades. She's basically Roana with a defense break and a strip. Freaking insane unit for this fight. I have her on this artifact. I'm not entirely sure why. I guess 30% CR push, sure, that's a thing. There's probably better artifacts I can put on her. Do not put her on Song of Stars. The last thing you want is to put target on the boss. You overstack the debuffs, the boss will self-cleanse and rip you apart. So try to avoid things that are going to put more debuffs than what you're organically going to get out of this team. And up we go to the Queen. Now, for those of you who can't do an auto team for the Queen, that's okay. Queen is probably the easiest, lowest gear requirement fight to do on manual. There are so many easy ways to kill this fight on manual. One of my favorites is using Angel of Light Angelica. You can cheese it using some nuker units. You can even use Ain's Ulgon. That's how easy it is to kill the Queen. You can use arguably one of the worst ML5s in the game and still kill the Queen. I'll give you guys all the links that you want for all of those teams if you want to manual it. What's a good artifact for Byblis beside Iron Fan? Her own. She's a ranger. You could Bloodstone her. See all that damage we were taking? Can you imagine how dead we would be if not for Aureus combined with the 30% damage reduction from Pillis? And that's what let us survive long enough for Tamarin to get all of her skills up and be ready to S3 right out of the gate. If you're manualing, normally you roll in with an Assaria, you reset her, and just cleanse out of it right away. But we built Tamarin just bulky enough that combined with the Aureus effect on Pillis, the damage reduction effect of her passives, that we were able to just sit there and take it on the chin until Tamarin was ready to do things on her own. Pillis hits. Counters, counter. Watch this. We countered, we stripped, we defense break, we healed. That's what's so good about Byblis. Strip, defense break, heal. Holy crap. And the blind from Byblis, the blind is really, really nice for survivability too. Just takes that edge off. Was there an instance where Smilegate buffed a collab hero? They buffed Jacko. They buffed her outside of the collab too, which is something I didn't think they could do. Now, to be fair, about a month later, we went into a collab, so maybe they, since they were in the middle of negotiating that collab, they got permission from Guilty Gears to buff her in advance. But that's the only instance we've ever had of a collab hero getting buffed outside of a collab. Edward got emergency buffed during the collab because nobody was pulling on him, and I suspect the FMA people said, "What'd you do to our MC? Nobody's pulling him." They buffed Shuna too. Did they buff her during a collab, or did they just give her an EE? I honestly can't remember what they did to Shuna. Hey Tristan, do you not like your mic? I'm torn between HyperX and Elgato Wave 3. I like it well enough. There's a mic I've had my eye on, I've been considering getting, but it's like $300 and I'm not sure. I mean, this does fine for me. I sound okay, right? Do I sound fine? Do I sound good? But yeah, the HyperX is a nice mic. It's a nice streamer mic, and if you're looking for something that's going to be like under the $200 price point, it's really good. They reworked her kit, removed focus mechanic. Did they do it during the collab though, or did they do it outside of the collab? Because I thought Jacko was the only one they did outside of the collab. I can't quite remember. Anyway, bottom line is yes, they have done it, but typically if you're going to modify the way somebody else's intellectual property works, you need to have a collaboration to make that happen. Okay, guys, we are almost to the end of a very, very stable, Nightmare Queen full auto team. How old am I? I'm as old as my gums and a little bit older than my teeth. I am in my 40s, I'll leave it at that. Is there a replacement for Byblis? That's what we're getting into, right? We want to do a nice full run just to show how it could be done. Now we got all these bleeds. As long as we can survive the bleeds, we'll be fine. There is no replacement for Tamarin. No replacement for Tamarin for a full auto team. But hey, you know what? Who doesn't have Tamarin? She's free to play. Byblis, or not Byblis, Pillis. Pillis can be replaced by Hassel. Hassel isn't as good as Pillis, but she can be replaced. As far as Bologna goes, you can replace Bologna with Lionheart Sirmia. You can replace Bologna with Champion Zerato. There's a couple of options there for a good replacement for Bologna. The big one is Byblis. Can we do this without Byblis? Now, I've been told this can be done with Roana, but I have never actually tried it. But let's give it a shot. Oh shit, there's the stuns because we're hurt. Oh, okay, that's fine. Oh no, so close. But I think you see, there was a shot, right? We couldn't use her with Byblis because the blind target and defense break was too many debuffs. But with Roana, we don't have the blind anymore, so we can more safely run a Seaside Bologna. Is this the Bloodstone one? This is not the Bloodstone one. Is this the Bloodstone one? You know what? Let's just give her Bloodstone. Okay, let's try it and see. And I guess the alternate to Bologna here would be probably Landy, right? Especially since Landy's S3 can't be countered, you can use her S3 into the queen and not worry about, you know, taking hitbacks. Any particular reason why we're redoing the lab teams? Because it's the beginning of the month and we have a whole bunch of new teams to flex. You should have seen all the ways we murdered Jewel Leaf Council. That was pretty tight. And people asked me, they said, hey, you know, hey, can you show off your best team? Like, I don't want to see free to play. I don't want to see no limited. I just want to see how you do it. I want to see what's the best, fastest team if you have all the resources. So we definitely ran that too. Strip and target. Target and defense break, hitting extra hard now. And this is going to cause some counters.
In my operation to trying to lose while still winning, someone found itself into a wall. The wall, Roana the negative damage.
Okay. Oh man, we've got no strips at all until Tam takes a turn. I don't know how we're gonna make it out of phase 2 without a stripper beyond Tam. Am I able to synthesize a max pet with another max pet in order to change its skills? Yes. If you synthesize them both together, as long as they're both max level, it'll just let you select the skills and it's 100% chance to work. Though if you want to change the skills, keep the one good pet and then just reskin the pet so that you can have that pet have the skills. The whole purpose of reskinning is so you don't have to fuse them just to put those skills on a different skin of a pet. You understand what I'm talking about, Kemps?
The queen is something else when there is no Byblis. I mean Byblis ready to make beautiful flowers.
Yep. Okay, so this is going a little faster thanks in part to the target debuff and the fact that Bologna, you know, actually does do damage. Strip, nice. The clapbacks are helping too. That's a good chunk of damage. Would ML Para cheese this fight at the front? Probably not. She only gives a 20% push and you need 40. She'd have to cycle around, right? She'd have to take 4 turns. Yeah, she'd have to take 4 turns for it to work. You could probably make it work, but I mean, that's all she's doing is that, and then there's not a lot of healing. Ouch. I wonder if Candlestick, with how many times we're getting hit, I wonder if we shouldn't have put Candlestick on a Tamarin, right? Oh shit, all those people are going to be countering into Bologna with a defense break. Scary, scary. It's okay, Roana's got this. Idol's Cheer? Maybe. I'm thinking more about cycling Tam's transformations. Because like right now, Tam is our stripper, and she only strips when she's in idol form, so we need her to turn into an idol so she can get back up on that pole and strip for us, right? Okay, Roana heals up. Wording? What do you mean wording? I don't know what you're talking about, Jacko. I think you're just hearing what you want to hear. Okay, Tam, please be ready to transform. We got a nice defense break. Lovely. I hope you guys noticed that Roana crit into that defense break just there. DPS Roana for the win. Okay. Here comes the strip. Gonna be a good one. It's gonna get rid of all the debuffs. Oh, thank God. I was really worried we were gonna get 15%ed there. Oh, too many debuffs. Too many debuffs and she cleansed.
My defense, GVG. Seti on crown. Archdemon on crown. Broman on crown.
You're a terrorist, Spatial. That's awful. Okay, guys, we're down to that last 20% mark. This is where it gets kind of nasty. Or 25% mark. If it's going to fail, it's going to fail in here. Attack break would be nice. Oh, no, wait, that was Zerato. She has no attack break. Okay, we got the defense buff up from Pillis, because Pillis is really freaking good. Okay, Tam, are you ready to transform soon, I hope? One turn left. Right? Surely it's one turn left. Tam. Oh God, 2 turns left. It's awful. It's awful. It's okay. We're fine. I have faith in my units. Elf Mage! Welcome, buddy. Thank you for the raid. Hope you had one hell of a stream, my friend. For those of you living under a rock and aren't following Elf Mage, make sure you follow Elf Mage. Doing so will make you more attractive. Women will want you. Men will want to be you. Am I making this up? Can you really risk it? Go follow Elf Mage. You'll be glad you did. Oh my God, Tam, please be ready. Please show me that this is possible. No! Don't die. We're almost there. Oh, she's not ready. It's next turn. It's next turn. We got to get through one more turn. At least the greater attack buff's gone. Man, we've almost killed those freaking bees. Okay, Tam's at the halfway point. Surely we're fine. Nice big heal from Roana. Ouch. We're gonna make it! We're gonna make it! Holy crap. Okay, so yeah, Bloodstone Bologna was the solution. If you don't have Byblis and you are just desperate to do this on full auto, it was never really that close. I do think that Prophetic Candlestick on Tamarin would have been a really, really good idea. We're gonna do that one next, Elf Mage. Because this is definitely the last time we're doing this. Because if you don't want to build this team, or you don't have Byblis, you should just do one of the 10,000 different manual ways to beat this fight. I mean, there are so many easy manual ways to beat this fight, and it's like 10 minutes of your life per month. Okay, we made it. There you go. I prefer Arrowell over Pillis for a Byblis Queen auto. I don't see how it can work, man. You will have to build your unit super tanky because you're going to take 30% more damage. You basically are putting Rage Set on the entire enemy team if you run without Pillis. All right, guys. There we go. Whew.